Hi, everybody. I'm Phoenix Rising Star, and welcome to the Hathor Activation. Tonight's topic is called New Transitions, which is different from New Beginnings. So, New Beginnings, of course, is jumping in, not even knowing what questions to ask, not even, everything's so new that you don't even know what it is. And so, it's kind of like the Fool card in the tarot, where it's just everything is brand new. But a new transition is what we're talking about tonight, and that is where you are letting go of the old so that you can step into the new. It's a more finite place, if you will, just before your new beginnings, and it's a necessary piece to the new beginnings. Because think of this as coming to closure with the old before we can start something new. I can't tell you how many times I've asked the angels, either in sheer desperation or frustration or excitement, help me get to this next stage. And they would say to me, we would love to help you, but we can't help you until you have let go of the old. And this was true whether I was leaving a job, a relationship, moving across country, all of those things. It didn't matter how big or how small. I was talking about the change. You have to let go of the old before you can welcome in the new. So tonight's topic is helping you to let go of the old so that you can step into the new. So there are a couple of things that the Hathors would like you to recognize about transitions. And one is, even if it is your idea to make a new beginning, whether you're leaving a job or you're changing your career or leaving a relationship, moving across country, whatever it is, it doesn't matter how big or how small, but it's really essential to grieve the old. Grieving is a process, it's a process of honoring. It's a process of saying, wow, these are the blessings that I had created in that, whether you're talking about a relationship again, or a job, or a house, or any of those things. It's a process of really honoring what you created, feeling good about it, and then feeling like now I'm ready to release it. And grief is kind of an interesting thing. It has tentacles to it. It has surprises to it. It does not have a regular rhythm to it. It comes up out of the blue sometimes where you least expect it, and it always comes up when you think you've healed it and you don't need it anymore. So this is about really allowing yourself to grieve the old, even if you set aside 15 minutes in one day and say, okay, I'm just going to feel really sad about that because I need to do that. Or I'm just going to count all the blessings that are there because I need to do that. Or maybe I just need to have a good pity party or a good cry because I'm feeling that way. Whatever it is you need to do during that 15 minutes, that's what you give to yourself. And at the end of 15 minutes, you make sure you have a timer going. And at the end of 15 minutes, you go, okay, I'm done. Now I'm going to go on and do some other things. That will initiate enough of a letting go process for you. Even just one time of that will initiate enough of a letting go process that it will be much easier to step into your new beginning because of the closure that it will start to bring. So allow yourself to grieve, and allow yourself to grieve when it comes up unexpectedly, even though you go, I've already done this, I don't need to do this anymore. Well, maybe you do. Maybe there's just one cell in your body that really needs that grieving. So honor it when it comes up, give yourself a limited time amount to work with, and then count your blessings, and then close the door, and then you can move forward. So grieving is an essential process of the transition period. Another essential process is tying up loose ends. Remember, the angels kept saying, we would love to help you, but we can't help you until you have let go of the old. Well, what are the things that are holding you in the old? Things that are unfinished, whether it's a relationship, or maybe it's a contract, or maybe it's an agreement of some kind, or maybe it's just something you just thought, I don't have time for this. I don't want to have to do that. Well, maybe that's the very thing that's holding you back just a little bit. So really be meticulous in going through. Have you released everything? Have you tied up everything? Have you completed everything? Now, when I'm talking about tying up loose ends in like relationships, for for me, this could mean a whole lot of different things. When I first moved across country, I felt like everybody was so mad at me for leaving and for having the courage to go do something different and change my name, let alone it was really hard for me to tie up those loose ends with relationships because people were upset. But you know, that doesn't mean they hold you back, right? It just means you extend the olive branch to the extent you can, and the rest is up to them if they're choosing to let go of that. Same thing with contracts, you know, and contracts can be energetic contracts or they can be physical contracts. Maybe you have a contract on your house or to sell your house, or maybe you have a contract in your job to complete that job within 2 months. But maybe you have an energetic contract that you made an agreement with someone that you were going to help them until they were complete with something. Well, then it becomes, can I do this even if I'm not in the same location, or can I do this from the same location but doing it differently? You know, it's about tying up those loose ends so that nothing is going to hold you back. Then we have the process of welcoming in the new, because once you make sure that that old business is taken care of, the welcoming in of the new happens in a whole lot of ways, but you need to recognize all the ways in which you can make this happen. So first of all, we have the energetic welcoming, right? Where your thoughts, your feelings, all of your actions are focusing on one thing. So if you're looking at a new job, then you might be focusing ahead in terms of, wow, what is my office going to look like? Or what is my day going to look like? What are my clothes going to look like? That type of thing. Or if you're getting ready for a move, then it might be like, well, what kinds of things are most important for me to bring and that I would like to see in my new space? And if you're talking about a smaller change, like maybe just your exercise routine, how would I like to appear as a result of my new exercise routine? And what about new clothes that I might need to wear just to really help me feel confident in my exercise? You know, whatever it takes. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, and even sacred ceremonies. Now, these can be totally just something that you're inspired to do. Lighting a candle and stating your intention is good enough, right? It also could be something you've been trained to do, like maybe you've taken some shamanic training, or maybe you've taken some other kind of training where there are certain rituals you're following in order to bring the new idea to life. So it doesn't matter if it's something you already know how to do or something you just make up on the spot, but it's what you're doing is setting your intention into energy, into motion. Which brings us to the next step of welcoming in the new. During all that process of thinking about it and feeling it and you know, doing your sacred ceremony, you are also then getting some inspiration to your perfect action. Now, sometimes your action is going to just make perfect sense to you. Pack your clothes, pack up your office, you know, start exercising now, whatever it might be. And sometimes your inspired thoughts that come in and feelings that come in will make no sense to you whatsoever. Like when I was testing out Sedona, when I first moved here, I woke up well, actually, just before I went to sleep, the angels were telling me, okay, now in the morning, you're going to go to this certain building and you're going to ask for the director and you're going to tell the director you need to work there. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's what I'm going to do. Because by that time, I was really trusting what was coming through. So it made no sense to me at the time. But after I completed that, I had a job. So it was like, well, that worked really well. So it's about remembering to trust your internal guidance when it comes in and take your inspired action on it, whether it makes sense to you or not. Then the other thing to remember about your new beginnings that you are in the process of creating is that all creations have life forms of their own. Now, that doesn't mean that they're just going to take you off someplace and leave you on the moon. But what it means is that follow, go with that flow. You know, when things are going really, really fast, you go really, really fast. Don't try to hold it up. Don't stop and say, oh no, this is too much. And when it's going really slow, there's a reason why it's going slow. So you go slow accordingly. And then sometimes your creation is going to take a right hand turn and you go, wait, that wasn't, I don't think that was what I had in mind. But you know what? It might be something even better than what you had envisioned. So I advise you, and the Hathors advise you to follow that right hand turn and just watch magic unfold. So go with the flow and don't be afraid to go with the flow. Even if it's unknown, we have already set in motion that it's going to be what you're looking for or something even better. Wow. So now you can see why these little tiny baby steps had to be talked about tonight to really make this a complete experience for you. So all the old gets left behind and you are so ready for the new, which I know is going to be our next topic, but I'm not quite sure to what degree. Okay, so tonight when you're working with the Hathors, we're going to start as we always do from that place of love, and we invite in the Hathors, and they're going to be helping you with maybe one or two or all of these areas. So they're going to help you with grieving, if that's what you need. They're going to help you with tying up the loose ends and welcoming in the new in whatever way, maybe through inspiration or like some inspired action that you're to follow tomorrow, whether it makes sense or not. Everybody's in a different place, and where your newness is beginning and where your oldness is ending. So you will receive exactly what you need to receive tonight in one or all of those areas. And remember too, that what comes through is more like a heart-to-heart transmission. So you're receiving it, you're taking in, and that doesn't mean you necessarily have words for it right away. So the transmission itself doesn't take very long. What takes a little bit longer is the unfolding of it within you so that your cognitive mind can make sense of what just happened and what just came through. So sometimes that can take a little longer, like maybe 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, maybe a little bit longer. But it will come in the way that you can recognize, in the way that you can take action on and follow up with. So don't worry if you're not getting words or distinct actions tonight. It will come. It will definitely come. The brain is the last part to understand the heart-to-heart transmission because it's not really involved with it. But the heart totally knows what's going on. So that's how we're going to do that. And then at the very end, after the Hathors have said, okay, the transmission is complete, then I'll mention that it's time to just kind of start integrating what you had received. Give you about 2 minutes for that, because that just is enough to jumpstart the integration. And then you'll hear the gong so that you know that we're complete for then. This is actually, I mean, it sounds short and sweet, but it's deep, it's rich, and it will really help you to jumpstart your new beginnings with success so that you're able to reach your highest destiny faster than ever before. I mean, when we say ever before, have we ever done it before? I don't know. I have this conversation pretty regularly with the Hathors. All right, highest destiny means that we're reaching a place or we're reaching a level or, an ending, right? So why not call it highest journey? And from their standpoint, they're like, well, we're kind of evolving as beings that don't have bodies like you do. You guys have bodies that come to a finite conclusion. And when we don't have bodies, then we can reach a destiny because we have lots of time at our disposal to reach that place, even if it takes, in your language, our language, hundreds, thousands of years. We've got all the time we need for that. So for us, it is a destiny. For you, it might be a journey. I thought that was rather interesting, and I wanted to share that with you. So, okay. So thank you everybody for being on the call tonight. This is a really auspicious time. They all feel that way, but tonight feels really, really important. The completion of the old so that you can truly begin the new with just everything you need to make it successful and wonderful and easy and effortless. So let's do this. Let's just do this really good. Okay, I'm going to turn off my video. I invite you to turn off yours if you have yours on, just because it lessens any distraction that we might have for each other, or if one of us peaks during the meditation. And I tend to talk with my hands, which is very distracting, especially when my eyes are closed. I mean, kind of is pretty funny. So that's why I turn off my videos. So when you are ready, yay, just go ahead and allow yourself to get comfortable where you are. You can lie down for this. And if you do, it's possible you will go to sleep because that's the intensity of the energies that come through. It's okay if you go to sleep because that would be probably what you would need. And you will still take in absolutely everything you need to. But if you'd like to be a little more conscious about it, if it's possible, then I would advise you to sit up. Okay. Just closing your eyes and centering your awareness in your heart space and allowing your breathing to become slow and rhythmic at a rate that works for you. Intuitively finding that beautiful space in your heart, that sacred space that only you know, but you know exactly where it is. And just begin opening up all of your senses so that you can see this space and feel that space and know that space, and maybe recognize things through your inner eyesight, or recognize tones or frequencies through your inner ears. However you can perceive this space, I invite you to just, it's like taking an inner look around, because I find that every time we go there, it's different. It depends on where we are, and it depends on our focus. So you may be outside rather than inside, or if you're inside, you may have different colors or tones, or there's so many things that can change each time. So just take a moment to really appreciate your internal heart space. It is the place of all knowing, all wisdom, all of your experiences, and really all life experiences. And to the best of your ability, I invite you to begin generating feelings of unconditional love. And when I say to the best of your ability, some people are lucky enough to have had relationships in which they felt that. Maybe from another person, like maybe a grandmother or a dear friend. Or maybe it was from an animal, a four-legged. Although our two-leggeds and fish also can be extremely loving and kind and compassionate. So if you're lucky enough to have had one of those experiences, just begin generating those feelings within you to the best of your ability. It happens just by intention. And if you haven't had one of those experiences, maybe you could think about a spiritual epiphany that you had that changed you for forever. Or maybe it was a time when you were out in nature, it was just you and nature, and you were all one together, one with the trees and the bushes and the plants and the animals and the water and the air and the soil. It was just magical. And still others, you might have a phrase or something that just means a lot to you that you could just repeat over and over again. Love and gratitude or namaste. So you do what you need to do to begin generating feelings of unconditional love. Really feeling that and knowing that and allowing it to just begin filling your heart space. And the thing about love is just keeps coming in. Once you invite it in, it just keeps coming and coming and coming. So when it fills your heart space to overflowing, it's going to be flooding in your physical body first. And just like when you pour a glass of water, it fills you up from the bottoms of your feet to the top, or from the bottom of the glass to the top of the glass. And it's touching all parts of your physical form with unconditional love, which initiates a healing right away. And we're so grateful. And as that love fills up to the top, it then spills over into your energy body, which is your energy sphere around you, comprised of 4 different layers, at least the way we're doing it today. Starting with your physical energetic layer, which is a memory of your physical experiences. And as that love fills up your energetic physical body, then it's touching all those memories with love and creating a healing. And as that spills over, it moves into your emotional layer of your energy body, which is a memory of all of your emotions, the hurt ones, the wounded ones, as well as the really joyful ones. So just allow your emotions to be touched with love, as love is filling your emotional body. And as that feels to overflowing, that love is moving into the mental layer, which is the memory of all of your belief systems, those that work for you and those that maybe don't work so much for you. Maybe they never did, but we didn't know that, so we hold on to them. Or maybe they are old and we can let them go now. And just allow all your belief systems to be touched with love as you're filling with unconditional love. And then that love spills over into your spiritual layer, which is a record of all of your experiences, all lifetimes, everywhere. And as this is filling with love, there's a lot of experiences that can use some more love. So that unconditional love just knows exactly where to go and what kind of healing to initiate. And now, when this is completely filled, you are completely surrounded in this cotton ball of love, because that's filled up your energy body all around you in the sphere. Just take a moment to really appreciate how good that feels. And you may notice that you have some Hathor friends waiting off to the side who are sending you a whole lot of love because they are very excited to work with you tonight. They may be the same ones you have been working with, or sometimes they add in some new ones, or if it's appropriate, or maybe just a new one for part of this. So just allow yourself to greet them heart to heart, feeling that wave of love that moves back and forth between you, kind of an honoring of each other in gratitude for their help and assistance on our highest destiny journey. Feeling that wave of love. And you may feel if there's some healing that is starting, either helping you to grieve the old, if that's what's necessary. So if you have some emotion that comes up, or some tears, or sometimes it comes up in laughter because we're appreciating what we had. And they may also be helping you with tying up loose ends to help you realize which loose ends need tying up, whether it's in relationships or contracts or jobs or some kind of commitment that maybe you have made and maybe you forgot all about it. And it's also possible that they're helping you prepare energetically or through your actions or about going with the flow as you're preparing for the new. And they may give you some inspiration that you can take direct action with. So I'll be really quiet while they're doing what they need to do. And you may notice when they shift gears a little bit and um, take another look at a different step for you. It's just an energy shift, very subtle. Just go with it. We have another minute or two of heart transmission. You'll notice a shift. And you may sense that the heart to heart transmission is either slowing down or cooling off a little bit. This allows you to just begin integrating everything that you experience to the best of your ability. Namaste.